I will show you step by step how to make a fun and easy educational quiet book. On the cover you create a sensory robot, and inside you'll add the 3D geometric shapes that pop up when you pull a string. Thanks to special patterns, flat felt pieces magically turn to the three-dimensional figures. It's a simple project that kids will love to play and learn with. So let's get started. To make it, you will need stiff felt, 1 or 2 mm, sensory fabrics, scissors, and a few simple tools. You can find the full list in the video description. Cut along the edges of the patterns I prepared and use smaller precision scissors for the smaller pieces. For best results, take your time and make smooth, clean cuts. This will make sewing the quiet book much easier. Place the cut out pieces on felt in the color indicated for each piece. Trace the shape with a disappearing marker and cut along the edges. This way you'll get precise felt pieces that perfectly match the templates, making the assembly process smoother. Make sure the felt doesn't move while tracing, so your shapes stay neat. Let's start with the robot cover. Prepare the necessary felt pieces and faux fur. Place the green felt piece on a piece of faux fur and secure it with clips. Sew both pieces along the inner edge, sewing slowly at your own pace and easing at the corners. Set your stitch length to 2.5 and remember to adjust the tension, increasing it when sewing through multiplier layers of felt. Flip the finished piece to the other side and trim any excess faux fur along the seam edge. Place it 8 mm from the bottom edge, start sewing from here, stop in this place, then insert 10 mm bead and continue sewing to the place where we started, along the outer edge of the green element. Place the robot's legs on its belly and sew each one only along the bottom edge. At the start and end of each seam, sew forward and backward and repeat this 2 more times. Take a piece of safe mirror, place it under the robot's head where the mouth will be, secure it with clips, and sew both pieces along the edge of the mouth. Flip it to the other side and trim any excess safe mirror along the seam line. Place the cheeks on both sides of the mouth and sew them along the edges. Prepare the black synthetic leather and this pattern, trace its shape twice using a disappearing marker and cut it out. If you don't have synthetic leather, you can simply use black felt. Place the black elements in the center of the white circles and sew along the edges. Now using white embroidery floss, I will stitch the highlights in the robot's eyes. Use the French knot technique for this. I teach it step by step in another tutorial. You can find the link at the top of the screen. Now we need to prepare the Velcro pieces. Take this pattern, place it on Velcro tape and cut out the shape. You will need 2 pairs of Velcro, both the loop and hook sides. Place the Velcro pieces with the loop side in the center of the white squares and sew along the edges. Flip the squares over so the Velcro pieces are on the bottom, place the eyes on top and sew along the edges. Make sure both the top and bottom threads are white. In the next step, trim the excess felt along the edge of the eye. Place the finished eyes here and mark with a disappearing marker where the Velcro pieces touch the head. Then place the Velcro with the hook side in those spots and sew them in place. Thread a 10 mm bead onto a 14 cm pipe cleaner so that it sits in the middle. Bring the ends of the pipe cleaner together and twist them a few times. Then attach the yellow piece using hot glue. Take the red piece, position it in place and secure it with clips. Next, place the prepared element under the head so that the yellow piece is on top. Then lay the head onto the base page and sew it along the edge. Place the remaining 2 circles on each side of the robot, put the 50 mm buttons on top of them and sew them in place. You can also sew on small 6 mm buttons to add any extra sensory texture. In the next step, we'll focus on the geometric shapes. Prepare the paper templates and punch a hole at each dotted mark. Prepare the template for the pentagonal pyramid and the yellow piece. Place the template on the piece so they align and mark dots where the holes are. At each marked dot, punch a hole using a hole punch. The diameter of my holes is 4 mm. Then, using a ruler, connect the points at the indentations. Place the felt piece on dark blue base page and sew it along the drawn lines. Take a 60 cm nylon cord, seal its ends with a lighter and thread it through the holes as shown. Join the ends of the nylon cord and form a loop. To make the pyramid, prepare the corresponding template, the white felt piece, and the black base page. The construction will be very similar. We'll repeat all the previous steps. You can place a small piece of felt underneath. This will make creating the hole much easier. Using a ruler, connect the points at the indentations. Place the felt piece on black base page and sew it along the drawn lines. At the end, thread the nylon cord through the holes the same way I do. In the next step, take the template for the triangular prism, the gray felt piece and the orange base page. Place the template on the piece so they align and mark those where the holes are. At each marked dot, punch a hole using a hole punch. Then, using a ruler, connect the points at the indentations. In the next step, fold the felt piece along the drawn lines. Place the felt piece on the base page. We will sew it from this point to this point. At the beginning and end of sewing, stitch forward and backward and repeat this process 2 more times. At the end, thread the nylon cord through the holes the same way I do. Now we'll make the cube. Take the template, the green felt piece and the purple base page. Place the template on piece so they align and mark dots where the holes are. Make holes at the position of 6 dots, leaving the remaining 2 dots as they are. Then, using a ruler, draw lines connecting the points at the indentations and also connect these 2 marked dots. Then fold the felt piece along the drawn lines. Place the felt piece on the base page. We will start sewing from this point to this point. At the beginning and end of sewing, stitch forward and backward and repeat this process 2 more times. At the end, thread the nylon cord through the holes the same way I do. Take the template for the Pentagonal prism, the pink felt piece and light blue base page. Place the template on the piece so they align and mark dots where the holes are. At each marked dot, punch a hole using a hole punch. Then, using a ruler, draw lines connecting the points at the indentations. In the next step, fold the felt piece along the drawn lines. Place the felt piece on the base page. We'll sew it from this point to this point. At the beginning and end of sewing, stitch forward and backward and repeat this process 2 more times. At the end, thread the nylon cord through the holes the same way I do. The last one will be cylinder. Take the red felt piece and the white base page. Place the template on the piece so they align and mark dots where the holes are. At each marked dot, punch a hole using a hole punch. Place the felt piece on the base page. We'll sew it from this point to this point. At the beginning and end of sewing, stitch forward and backward and repeat this process 2 more times. At the end, thread the nylon cord through the holes the same way I do. Take all the base pages, place each one on thread of the same color and sew along the edges. Make sure the top and bottom threads are the same color. Next, trim off the excess thread along the edges. Take the base page template and punch a hole at the marked dot. Place the template on each base page and mark a dot where the hole is. Then at each marked dot on every base page, punch a hole using a hole punch. Finally, thread the shoelace through each hole, tie a bow, and you're done. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope this tutorial was helpful and that you managed to create a beautiful book. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you would like to make another book, just click on the thumbnail on the screen. Wishing you a wonderful day. Greetings from Poland and see you in the next video. Bye bye!